Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group?
Former Senator Nina Turner destroys Barack Obama for chastising black men. Got some nerve. This is what happens when you run a campaign that's been tone deaf for black men.
Barack Obama is back on the campaign trail and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
What?
So now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
He knows the camera's on.
Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is?
Can't figure it
Put
out.
women down? That's not acceptable.
No, that's not what it is.
I guess he knew the cameras were there. It was an unscheduled stop, but that message was so pointed. In addition to him making it very clear, Kamala Harris is not doing what she needs to do with this core Democratic constituency. We went back, looked at 2020 exit polls. Biden got 92% of the black vote. Right now, according to Quinnipiac, this is in Pennsylvania, according to Quinnipiac, Harris is at 78.
And that is the problem right now. The problem is it's worse than you thought it was. You thought it was a game. You thought it was a joke. You thought this was a close race. It's really not a close race. And this is part of the reason. The tone deafness to send Barack Obama, of all people, to lecture somebody when Barack Obama is part of the reason things are like this right now. Part of the reason people are making this decision. Because he waltzed right out of office to Martha's Vineyard and never looked back. Never did. Didn't care. But Nina Turner, she got our back.
I don't know. It's because men are the problem
Men
right now for
care.
Kamala Harris.
I mean, women.
And by the way, Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a men tour, literally a tour
Really?
of media to appeal to men.
They need to appear.
Really? That's not the guy to do it. I'm sorry. This is not. I hope that's not why they put him on the ticket.
Appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio, right now the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama, but for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that, we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who, by and large, don't vote much differently from black women. And what, as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right that one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman?
It might be some listen, black men are socialized in the same society as any other man. So yes, is misogyny may be a part of it, but again,
that is not the reason. By and large, if there is, it's a very small population of the men. A lot of men are making logical decisions. Because here's the thing, Barack Obama, There were a lot of black men that would have been willing to vote for your wife at one point. Here's another black woman that black men might actually vote for, Senator Nina Turner. And you see why. She actually stands for something. And willing to vote for many other qualified women. They've just seen what Kamala represents and what she potentially could be and decided against it. It's as simple as that.
Is President Obama and is the Harris-Walz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing
This is
black
not just
No.
about.
I don't think so.
It's
They're
not
not.
just about Pennsylvania. It's not just about men. It sounds like there's a concern that there's a broad problem for Vice President Harris with the blue wall. It's basically, according to the poll of polls, no clear leader, a tied race essentially in all three of these battleground states. I don't know that this is because.
Unfortunately, brothers, they lined it up to blame you for why Kamala lost. They've done it in the past. They do it every time. There's always an issue with black men not doing what you want them to do, for not falling in line. They're going to put this squarely on your shoulders, this L. Meanwhile, they haven't given you any type of policy, no type of outreach, nothing specific. For that point, they haven't given anything to black women. But somehow we're supposed to just ride along with this party line. Get out of here. I'm glad she said something, because she's saying something that we needed to say a long time ago. The fact of the matter is, this party has failed black men. Look at the current state of things and how it's going. And has there been any effort to change black men's situation? Right? I think what you realize here is that black men have been very patient. They mentioned the fact that black men mostly vote Democrat. That is true. That is true. They vote in line with that. But I think what's happened here is after election cycle, we've asked for specific things. We've asked for a black agenda. We've even talked about reparations. We've talked about many different topics, and we've been largely ignored. I think there's a point where every man who has any sense wants to take his control back, wants to take his family back in some ways. And black men have largely, like I said, gone with the flow. But there comes a point. There comes a point when enough is enough, when you've been lied to long enough. The day Barack Obama walked out of office, I could not believe, with his Black American wife, foundational Black American ADOS wife in office, he did not even address the possibility of a repair to her community. He walked right out. This is what we get with our first blacks. When we get our first people who get into office, we get a lot of lip service. We get a lot of hand slapping, high fiving, and no results. We're in the exact same position. I would argue we're probably in a worse position than we were the years after Barack Obama left office. Black men saw that. And they said, no, we're not doing that again. So that's what you got going on here. It's not as close a race as they thought it was, because now they're throwing everybody out there. They got Barack Obama on the road. But Barack Obama is the wrong person for this. The nerve of him. The nerve of him. He ain't got no room to talk. He should have just stayed home. He did his speech at the DNC and left it at that. Now he's out here trying to press somebody into what to do. These men have already made up their minds, whether they're voting for Trump, whether they're staying home, whether they're voting for Kamala. And I think this constant talking down is something that is going to have to be addressed. This, I'm going to come out there and tell them what to do, like Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, of all people. Are you serious? Until black men stand up, and I've said this for a long time. You can go back in my tweets. This is me in 2020. I know it flies in the face of popular opinion these days, but the sentiment remains. Listen to black men. This is October, so this is exactly 4 years ago. Because if you had listened to black men, probably wouldn't be in this position right now. You remember when they were so gung-ho about Joe Biden? Well, look where that got us. Joe Biden even got so comfortable to say, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. You remember that? This is another one of those moments. So Barack Obama, like I said, has some nerve coming out here right now, talking the way he's talking. First and foremost, you've been missing in action. What happened to the My Brother's Keeper, Barack Obama? Yeah, that was your last-ditch effort to throw us a bone. Abject failure. I'm just saying, you all need to try. I know modern thought has you believing that anything a man says is wrong. But think about it. There's a black man in your life that you respect. Ladies, why don't we try for once to listen to what they're saying, to listen to their ideas, and to listen to their reasons why, instead of assuming what the reasons are, instead of saying, oh, it's a stimulus payment or something that is making them decide to support someone else. You know, it's really disrespectful. That's what it really comes down to. And y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn to respect black men. That's all I gotta say.